Hey guys, it is Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create project. I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. Sorry, everything is in a slightly different spot, so I might be like off track. But so they've made some huge updates to the software that I use to stream mostly. Um, Pretty much everybody knows that I am a Mac girl, and so I do stream normally with a program that is only available on Macs. I do have another program that I also do use in other instances, but they made like this whole huge update, so you can stream to different spots now with just like the click of a button. So I thought before I tried to do something super important that I would test it out. So I thought I would come on and create some cards. So I just really quickly, I took this, the Are We There Yet card making workshop, and I altered it a little bit. So hopefully I got all my pieces cut out, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to create. So I'm going to add my desk down in here. And like I said, I'm just really super curious to see how it all happens. And so I'm just going to actually create some cards and talk to you and watch what happens in the feed and stuff, just so that I can kind of figure out where all the new buttons are and I could see what is going on. So like I said, I'm going to add my desk in here now. How about we do that so that, okay, so I'm just going to make myself slightly bigger. I'm going to move over to the actual spot where all my stuff is. Okay, so here is what I did beforehand. So just let me see and make sure that I'm actually streaming somewhere. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of test everything out and see what happens. Okay, so I don't actually see me on my business page, but we're just going to keep on going. I could see somebody is watching, so that's good. So like I said, I took the Are We There Yet card making workshop. Okay, and I wanted to show you just a few things, but we are going to create it with different supplies. So I made up a set earlier this week of the actual cards. Hey, Leanne. The way that they're designed, right? So this is the Are We There Yet paper, and I like literally stamped them, assembled them exactly according to the directions. But today, I thought it might be fun to take, so I'm going to do 3 of them because I didn't get to cut up the last card before it was time to actually go live. I'm just going to see why I'm so crooked here. But I took papers from the It's the Little Things paper pack and cut them up, and so we're gonna swap out the cards and make them slightly different. So remember, once you get like a card making workshop, even if you create the whole thing, it still has some value to you, right? You can create more of them. You could create less of them and use something different. So even though you might not necessarily like, or this isn't your favorite, don't forget you could use it in a different way, right? So it comes with the stamp set, and then the thin cuts are super cute. So anything with stitching and you basically got me. So this little suitcase is super cute, and then the tags both have stitching on them. So You could also take these, right, and add them to a scrapbooking layout because they've got the stitching. I'll show you as we go through, but like this little suitcase would make like a great addition to a cluster on a scrapbooking page, or you could even use it as like a border across the bottom of a scrapbooking page. I love that it's stitched. So like I said, I did do some swap outs, but we're going to actually assemble them exactly how they are. But I'm going to like swap out the colors. We're going to kind of see what happens here. So I might have to grab more ink. I'm not 100% certain. And so here we go. We're going to go. So all the cutting instructions, everything's in the bag, right? Your supplies, your thin cuts, your stamp, you just pre-cut it following the directions. So like I said, I took those measurements and I just swapped them out for papers from the 6x6 stack. Okay, so here we go. We're going to assemble the first card. So the first thing, they have like your pre-steps, right? So there's this little triangle here. We're going to stamp across the end, and then their suitcase has the sentiment on it. So we are going to do that. Okay, so look at how cute this suitcase turned out. So I cut it from one of the patterned papers from the 6x6 stack, right? It's the lemonade one with, it's just got circles on top of it, and I thought it would make a super cute suitcase. So I cut one out of that piece of paper and then one out of green apple because it kind of coordinated. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment on this one, and then we're going to add our little triangles down the side. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment in green apple. And we'll see. Like I said, I did not test these out before I started, but I think they'll work. So I'm not really sure who just popped on because it just says Facebook user. But hello and welcome, everyone. So, like I said, I wanted to be able to kind of see what happens in the background before I was going to do something super important. So I'm going to stamp this in green apple, and it says on it, wishing you countless happy miles on your birthday trail. So I'm going to do green apple. I think I have to stand up now. That lasted all of like what, 7 minutes? That's not bad for me. Okay. So, and then they used the melon dots, and so I just grabbed like a mixture of the dots to coordinate with all the papers, because like I said, I just kind of picked and chose some of the prints from the it's the little things paper stack. Okay, so let's see what I did here. So I have this decorative piece is going to replace the suitcases, and then I have some strips, and then I did the mat with raspberry. So maybe we'll do the little triangle with lagoon. So I just grabbed green apple, lagoon, and raspberry to match. I might add in another color. We'll just see how this goes, if I need it or not. Like I said, I only got through cutting the papers for the first 3 cards. So I'm just going to do some of the triangles along the edge. That's not straight, so I'm going to flip it over. And I actually think like this little stamp goes perfectly with kind of the same vibe as it's the little things. Okay, So there we go. There's the lagoon down the edge. Okay. So we have our pieces stamped, and I think that's going to be cute, just like that. Okay. So here we go. Now look at my directions. So 3/8 of an inch from the edge. So even though it looks like it's a little skinny line here, it's just because they moved it over. So, because obviously it is way easier to cut 1/2 inch strip, right, than a 3/8 of an inch, or even like that little tiny 1/8 of an inch, whatever it ends up being when we add the next strip. So I'm going to use the lagoon on the outside. So this is in place of the glacier. And then at 3/4, I'm going to add the ballerina. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So, hey, Gay, I see now. See, some people, it says their names. It's because you have to like give permission to Ecamm to see who you are. Because it's like running like an app over Facebook. So then same thing, right? 3/4. So you have to remember too, there's always value in the card making workshop. Like I said, even if it's not your favorite, maybe you could just switch something out and make it really cute. So there we go. And then I picked this striped piece. So on the back, it's got like the semicircles, and it is like 7/8, I think, from the edge. So again, it's going to overlap the ballerina and just give you that nice little sliver of the ballerina showing through. And I think I just have some overhang here, so I'm going to trim off from the back. I just need my Versamat. So I should have probably put my Versamat down first. So you can trim it off with your scissors, but this is super skinny. I just have just a little tiny bit extra. So I'm just going to use my razor blade here. Because I also need to be able to get through a bunch of layers there. So, and this is just sometimes the cut is just slightly off. There we go. So I think they're actually going to look cute this way. So now, let's see. Now I think I add this piece, and it is 2 inches from the bottom, which happens to be the same height as the ruler, so that makes it nice and easy. I could also, obviously now that I was smart to grab my Versamat, could easily do that, right? Okay, and then, like I said, I did a raspberry matte, and this is 1 1/4 from the bottom, and what? 5/8. So right there, you can tell because it's now kind of centered on my card. So I think this one is going to work out very well. So like I said, I was just kind of playing around with it, and I thought, hey, that would be fun. They're a little more colorful, right? The Are We There Yet are like more muted colors. I still do not understand. But that's okay. Okay, so then my cute little suitcase, my lemonade suitcase. So I'm going to add that one on first, kind of at an angle. Actually, I can add this down because this is flat, and then I'll pop up my green apple suitcase just with some foam. I think I'm just going to do thin. I also wanted to be able to see how many places I could actually thank you. So this is fun. I think I can now do this better than I need to add like a little banner across the bottom. I have not done that yet, and I have not played much with adding the comments onto the screen before. But because of the way that it's streaming, I think it just makes it a little bit easier. Yes, even if you don't buy the bundle, you can download the instructions and use them for different cards, right? So let's say you didn't even want to use the suitcases, which I think are stinking cute, and that is what sold me completely on the little bundle. Because I actually think they're like the perfect size to also run across the bottom of a scrapbooking layout. But even if you didn't like the thin cuts and you didn't want the stamp or whatever, you can use the same patterns just in a different way. Okay, so I grabbed the green dots and the pink dots and then the yellow dots. And I think I'm going to use the green ones on here. So they're just the round ones, and again I think I'm going to use the green apple. I probably also could have grabbed the blue ones, so if I wanted to add like the lagoon color. So, and if you have not seen it, I created a really cute scrapbooking workshop with it's the little thing 6x6 stack, and then they're all 12x12 layouts, and I love it. The color combination is just like right up my alley, right? Nice and bright. Okay, so there is our rework, right? From the Are We There Yet to the It's the Little Things. Totally cute, and it totally works, right? So there's card number 1. Okay, so here's what card number 2 looks like. So it says, sending you a happy hello. And so I do have the pieces. They are here. So same thing. I just took the same measurements, but I swapped out the papers. And wait till you see this suitcase. This one is super cute too. So let's flip our page. Okay, back to work. Okay, so now we're going to do this one. And I thought this would be fun. So the thing they did on this tag, so I've cut out the tag, right? So we're going to use that, is it's like a little ombre tag. So I think we're going to use the lagoon and the raspberry on here for this one. And then I'll show you how I swapped out the pieces. So this is like the, it says, there's got all the little colorful dots and there's little words. It says, love more, dream big, be happy, worry less. So I'm actually going to adhere parts of my card down before we start assembling. I could also use this piece on the back, but I think I need to trim it. One moment, please. See, that's what happens when you're doing things on the fly. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this to my background first. And then, oh, I should actually probably show you the card we're altering. So I just want to make sure, because there's words on here, that I get it going in the right direction. So I have the little white piece. So here's our original. Okay. And then look at this stinking cute suitcase with the lagoon with the little dots. So that's going to be our suitcase on here. And then there's no zip strips, which is what this piece is in the card making workshop. So I just looked for a multicolored piece from the It's Little Things to run across the top. So I have the little diagonal multicolored piece. So that goes across the top. And that way I can bring in any of the colors and it doesn't really matter, right? And then so I have, I'm swapping this out for Lagoon. And then this piece is Glacier, which actually happens to be the same. But I don't think I want to put the trees on this one. So I thought we might try something fun. So on the bottom of the stamp set, there is this happy birthday. So I think I'm going to stamp it across the bottom as like a border almost. So I am going to, though, these are the original colors from the Are We There Yet? So it's Papaya, Sapphire, and Glacier. So if I needed them, I had them too. But we are going to stamp the happy birthday across the bottom here. And I think I'm going to do Lagoon ink. And I have not actually used this yet, so let's try it. Ooh, I like this. I haven't actually stamped that font yet. It's a nice, just like squared font, right? So I'm just going to run it across the bottom. And I know I need to, and so I do know this part's going to be covered up. So you wouldn't actually have to stamp in the middle if you don't want to, but I want it so that it actually makes sense across the piece of paper. Okay, so I just want to check something because lots of it gets covered up. I actually thought I might do it across the top too. And I think I'm going to. But this time, I know they're very cute and versatile. So this time, right, I started on this end. So this time when I go across the top, I'm going to start with the end of my happy birthday at the end of this piece so that the top and the bottom don't look exactly the same. So sometimes I think that like when you look at one of the card making workshops in the idea book, you might just think, oh, I don't like that paper, or I don't like that theme or whatever. But don't forget, you could totally swap it out. Okay, so I just did across the top and across the bottom. I'm just going to wipe off because I went over. Okay, so the other thing we have to do is we have to stamp our little tag. And so I said, I think I'll do that with the lagoon and the raspberry. And this is the sentiment right here. So this is the little trees that are on the original card. So I'm just trying to decide, but I think I'll do the raspberry at the top. So I'm just going to ink up part of my stamp in the raspberry, and then I'm going to ink up the rest in the lagoon, and there will be an overlap, and that's good because then I kind of get like a fun color mix in there. As I'm stamping, I also realize my lagoon really needs to be re-inked. All those brights for me are the ones that so that's cute, right? So I just inked up the top and then the bottom with the lagoon. Okay, so now we can assemble this one. So let's see here. I need to refer to my directions. Some things I remember, but some things I don't, because it was a couple days ago when I actually put together the original set. Okay, so we're going to put the lagoon now 1 inch from the bottom. Yep, I'm just double checking. Okay, and then we're going to add now our glacier piece in. So like I said, sometimes you just, like, I didn't think that maybe the tree might not go with the It's a Little Things, right? You could probably totally do it, and using some of the different papers, like maybe the one with the vines on it, it might just look just fine, and then you would be good. Okay, so this is my raspberry mat. So I'm going to add it, and so it's 7/8 from the bottom and 1 1/8 from the outside. Okay, so I think it's cute. Okay, so then it's just a white piece. I also thought this would be super cute if you stenciled some of the white pieces on here. And this just gets centered. But I didn't want to make too many crazy changes all at once. But like I said, there's tons of things you could do with the same workshop. I am going to add my tag on 3D foam. So I'm going to add this suitcase flat on here. And I will probably come back and add twine after. to that tag. But you don't need to sit and watch me do that. And I'm going to use raspberry. So I'll add the stars on here just like they did. I'm not reinventing the wheel. So there we go, right? Second card done. Super cute. Okay, one more. Like I said, thank you for all coming along on my little adventure here, trying this out. So this time we're going to do this one. And it's got 3 cute little tags on it. And like I said, I tried to keep everything like almost exactly the same, as similar as possible, just swapping out a few things. So we are going to fold this first. Okay. So for this one, I have this raspberry piece for down here. We're going to stamp on this pink piece. Oh, thank you. So you see they did the little arrows here. So we're going to do that on this pink piece. And then I have this raspberry piece for here. If I had to do that again, I probably would have switched out this color. And then I have a green apple and a lagoon. And then the striped piece for up there. Okay, and so how I swapped out, so the mat, we have a glacier piece. And then the white daisy, I left it the same. Okay, so then I have the ballerina. That's from this package. That's from It's the Little Things. It's not cardstock. It's got just a little grid paper on it. So we're going to stamp that. And then here's the lemonade again. And then I have a raspberry tag. So let's just see. Maybe I'll swap this out like this, so I don't have the 2 raspberries right beside each other. So let's adhere everything to the base, and then the stamping is super simple from there, right? So everything just has like a 1/8 inch border, so that makes this super simple to put together. My ruler's upside down. There we go. Much better. So as you guys can see, I just took my T ruler and I took it apart because at certain points I don't necessarily want the other end of the ruler. I'm just so excited that we actually have a ruler back again, because my other one, I couldn't even see my tick marks anymore. Okay, I forgot we're going to stamp that. So I'm going to just push that up and we'll put the rest of the pieces down and then do our stamping. Then that last piece will just fit in really easily. Okay. So I'm just going to flip it over. So this is Lagoon. And then green apple. And then this is just that same diagonal. Okay, so let's stamp with that little arrow across the bottom of this ballerina. And let's do, so this is solid sapphire. This is got the 2-tone stamping, and then this is solid sapphire. So I want, before I decide what I'm going to stamp across the bottom, I think I need to decide how I'm going to stamp my tags. So because this one is raspberry, I think I have to stamp it with Lagoon. So we're going to do that one first. And I think I might do the little arrows across the bottom in Lagoon also. So So this says, have another year packed full of fun. So we're going to see how this looks on this raspberry. And I'll do this one in Lagoon too, and it's the same sentiment. So I'm going to just re-ink it up before I do the two-tone one, which is a different stamp. Okay, so I'll do this one, and then I'll do this one with raspberry at the top again, and the Lagoon at the bottom. Okay, so now I need my raspberry ink too. So I actually think I'm going to do those little arrows with the raspberry, just so the raspberry ink is somewhere else. So this stamp sentiment is kind of neat because it's got the little dot built into the top, so it almost stamps like a reinforcer. It looks almost like a reinforcer on the top of your tag. So that's cute. Okay, so that we're done with. I put the lid on my Lagoon ink, and let's do the little border. So it is right here, and I'm going to do raspberry ink, and I just need a block. Here it is. You could also fit that little happy birthday there. It fits there too, just in case you want to swap it out. Okay, so our little tags are done. And this is square, so you don't really have to worry about not being like which edge you have to stamp on. You just have to decide if you want to be particular about if you want the actual arrow to start at the end of the square, right? I kind of want it to look more just like random across the bottom there. Okay, so I think this is going to be not bad. So I actually thought too this really pretty blue on the background with the hearts would be really cute. So I have enough pieces of my puzzle in now. I don't really need my ruler, but I could add my ruler in if I thought I needed it. So then, okay, so now I have all these stamped. So I have this glacier piece, which is my mat, which is 7/8 from the bottom and 3/4 of an inch from the edge, like that. So then when I need to put my ruler away, I just click it back together. Okay, so now I have the white piece. Like that, and I will add my raspberry one off to this side. And then my pink patterned one. So it says, my son and I are watching, and we both thought stamping the border in raspberry was better than you switched it to. There we go. So we've got our 2 tags on there, and now I just have to add this one in the middle. So I'm going to pop this one up on 3D foam. I love this little stack, and just remember, right, like, because it's just little pieces of paper, I get to get a whole bunch of stuff out of it. A 6x6 piece of paper can go a long way, right? Especially when you're cutting them up into little tiny pieces. So now I just have to decide, but I think I'm going to do, let's just see here. I think I'm going to do, because we haven't done them yet, let's do the raspberry, the yellow dots. Okay, so in this one, I actually used the big one over top of this one, but I'm going to use the small one here, so you still get a little bit of that raspberry ink peeking through from the outside. It just needs enough paper to actually stick to. There we go. Okay, and then I'll use the medium ones, I think, on either side. Okay, so, right, like completely different, but just as fun. So, thanks guys for coming, and just let me see if I can do this. There I am. Thanks guys for coming and playing with me and letting me try out my software program. So I'll put all of them back into the, I think they turned out really cute. Like I said, for a spur of the moment kind of thing to create live. Let's just move some of my clutter out of the way, right? So there is number 3. Let's also put the lid on my. So there's number 3. Here's number 2. And here is number 1. So like I said, guys, thanks for joining me for a little while this afternoon so I could play and try things out. And now I get to go and look and see how it turned out. So that's what I got for you guys today. We'll talk to you later. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.